What's up, YouTube? Been a while. Got a couple changes here. The Raptor is officially gone. Guy made me a really good offer, so I decided just to sell it and get rid of it. Sadly, I did not get a new Raptor though, but I did get something, okay? And this is that something. Boom. Nothing special, just a 2021 F150 XLT. Yeah, pretty basic. Nothing special. Just a sport 4x4. But the cool thing about this is it's got a 5.0 in it. So we're making V8 sounds again, so that sounds good. Probably making less power and we're less efficient, but that's okay. We can change that. So overall, pretty pleased with it. The new Raptors were just too much for the current time where I'm at right now, so I just couldn't justify spending that much. So I found this for a really good price, and the guy that bought my Raptor made me a really good deal. But I will say I do like the interior of this a lot better than my Raptor. It's got a way bigger screen, updated. And it's got this cool little feature here. And the foldable console forward, so you can get some work done or whatever it is you do. I will say this feature is only available in park. It will not work while you're in drive for safety concerns, obviously. But yeah, disappointments. There's no garage door opener on this. How weird is that, right? No sunroof, twin panel roof is gone. But it's got a cool little details like that. Looks like a little map or something. B&O stereo. It's not bad. It's just something to get me through until I can come up with something else. But today we're gonna give it a little attitude. As you can see, she sits pretty low, and we're gonna change that today. First mod was the antenna. 50 caliber bullet, had to do it. I gotta tell you, probably one of my favorite features on this is the color of this vehicle. I love the lead foot gray. It's my favorite. Right next to the Avalanche. This is what we're doing today. We got Paris here. He's got the Stang actually up front. Big plans for that. Check it out. Oh shit. Fox 2.0s going on. The F150. These are not the Roush Ford Performance versions. I think those require some sort of different adjustment, and they have different valving in them, and they're a little bit more expensive. This was a little bit cheaper, but looking forward to it. Adds 2 inches of lift in the front and up to 1 inch in the back with a block. I'll show you the new toy. The Dirty Max is gone on my brother's side, but he did pick this up, trade it in. Oh yeah, check that out. Got a 5.0 gang here.
5.0 gang, baby.
He's got big plans for this. It's been sitting in storage for a while.
Yeah.
So it's a little dirty.
Midwest winter for you.
Yep. But yeah, it's not just any 5.0, 6-speed 5.0, so a lot of fun to drive. I actually had a chance to drive this car myself for about 7 hours straight, and it was just all highway speed. I gotta say, super comfortable, super smooth ride. I was impressed. I thought I would be uncomfortable going from being used to a big spacious truck, but I was super happy with it. It rode nice, it was comfortable tons of power for passing people. We actually do have a mod sitting in the garage for that right now too. That's on its way. We got a Corsa axle back exhaust system, and the rest of it's over here. Corsa exhaust tips.
Got that X pipe. I didn't go with the premium because I wanted the leather heated and cooled seats. So that's why, if any of you were wondering why. I didn't really like the wheels on it either. Not saying that those are any better, but just Brembo brakes and some slotted rotors, and it's pretty much, and the wing, I guess. But I wanted the heated and cooled seats and the leather.
Yep, so all luxury items he wanted, he got. Performance stuff we can piece together. That's coming up next when the time's right. Today we're gonna get these Fox shocks installed and check ride quality and see if it brings the face up at all. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, we traded the Wagoneer off too. It was just too big, too much. It was terrible to park. It was super comfortable and luxurious, but my wife was like, this is just too big, it's too much, I want something smaller. So we got her a Grand Cherokee. This is what she wanted. It's a little messy right now, but yeah, pretty clean vehicle. She loves it, she's happy. It's not bad. I like it, I've driven it a couple times. So yeah, new vehicles all around here. But let's get started on the suspension. All right, so here's our product, all unboxed, ready to go. 2 shocks for the rear, 2 struts for the front. And I cannot stress this enough, guys. The most important part about any aftermarket part is the sticker. If it does not have a sticker, do not buy it, okay? But yeah, super good quality, looks good. Supposedly they come from the distributor, set at the 2-inch mark. So we're gonna go ahead and start with the front. We're gonna loosen up our lug nuts, jack it up, remove them, and get started on taking apart the front suspension. All right, so we got it jacked up. Wheels are off the ground. We did leave the jack under there just as a backup. We have our jacks on our frame here. This is where you want to put them. And we jacked up right on that frame right there, the cross member. So now we're going to go ahead and remove the lug nuts. All right, and if you don't have an impact gun that's capable of taking this off, you will need to break these loose while the truck is still on the ground, or have it in 4-wheel drive. It's just best to have it on the ground so you're not putting pressure on your axles, but whatever you want to do, you can do it. With an impact gun, this like shakes back and forth until it breaks it loose. So that's why I don't have to worry about the wheel spinning. Because otherwise, if you just have like a tire iron, it's just going to spin the tire while it's off the ground. So if you don't have an impact gun, you just have a tire iron. Get these a little loose while the truck is still on the ground, and then pull them off once you're off, the tires are off the ground. Now we're going to rinse and repeat for the opposite side. All right, so wheels are off. This is what it looks like. Next thing, we're going to remove this bracket here that holds our wheel speed sensor and our ABS lines, brake line fluid. So we're just going to remove this nut here and pull this plate back. Remove this sway link nut right here, which is attached to this sway bar. And then remove our tie rod nut right here and remove the tie rod from the knuckle. So basically we're just going to isolate the knuckle away from the sway bar, the bracket, and the tie rod in this step. All right, so this is a 10 millimeter. We removed it, pulled this back. Now we're going to work on this sway bar link. This is going to take 2 tools. We got a wrench here, and we're going to have to use a T45 to hold the stud, the bolt, while we rotate the nut off.
Out the back.
So once that is loose, you can see the bolt is now free from the nut. And now we can take a hammer and push this out. You do want to use a hammer that's not going to bend the threads of that nut. So usually I thought I had a soft blow hammer here, hopefully. Maybe not.
Use that on this side.
Well, in the event you don't have a mallet or something like me right now, you can stick a piece of wood in there in between the nut and the hammer when you strike it, because you just don't want to curl these threads over, because you won't be able to start your bolt again. So let's see, what could we use? Sure, I got a piece of wood here somewhere. All right, this is a major piece of wood, but we're gonna use it. He did not have to on this side, it just broke loose and he was able to remove it. Actually, let's see how stuck this thing is. Yeah, it's kind of stuck. So we're gonna go ahead, you wanna hold this wood right up to that. Turn it if you can. Turn it horizontally.
Like this?
Yeah, I'm gonna strike the back of this. All right, and we're out. Just go ahead, put this nut back on there. Apparently he didn't have to do that on that side over there. He just impacted it right off and it slipped right out for him, so good for him. All right, next thing we're gonna do is pull the tie rod nut and then strike the steering knuckle right here until this pops up. All right, so we got this knocked out. All we did is impact this off, and there was so much shaking going on that it ended up coming right out pretty easily. So we didn't have to use a hammer or anything to strike the tie rod in.
The other side.
We'll show this in action this time over here.
It's not this side. Oh, there you go, look at that.
It's so nice working on vehicles with, like, you know, 10,000 miles on them. I got this with 12,000 miles, so relatively new, one owner before me. Everything's just so much cleaner and just ends up working so much better. I mean, the worst one I had was a truck with a 200,000 mile odometer on it, and just breaking things loose and getting them free took so much effort and extra work. This just flows. So
Can't forget breaking the bolt.
yeah, we had a 253,000 mile Duramax. I will never forget the amount of broken knuckles I have from that. That's probably the worst one, but we got her done, and that's what we're doing today. So it seems as we get older, the work gets easier. That, or we just get that much more wiser. All right, so now that we got our steering knuckle isolated, we're gonna go on to our next step. Okay, so the next step is to remove this nut to our upper control arm to the steering knuckle. And this does have tension on it, so expect it to recoil or jerk a little bit. And then we will have our 3 hat nuts on top of the strut assembly that we need to remove. Do not remove the center bolt. Don't touch it, because it will release the spring and could cause injury, according to manufacturer sources. So we're going to go ahead, get this removed, and then start working on the nuts to the strut assembly. All right, so we got our nut removed from here. Now we're going to go ahead and just strike the there it is. So as you can see, the amount of tension that was on the upper control arm that shot up as soon as it was knocked free of the steering knuckle. Now we can work on our 3 hat nuts for the strut assembly. I'm just gonna go ahead and put the nut back on there. All right, we got our 3 cap nuts off. This was our friend here, a ratcheting wrench with a flexible end. The last one in the back is a bit of a booger to get out. So our strut's now free. We're gonna go ahead and repeat on the opposite side. All right, as you can see, our strut assembly has been removed from the cup in the lower control arm. Here it is out. We did have to, I'm gonna hold that up. Yeah. We did have to use a crowbar and go underneath the bottom of the strut and kind of crowbar it up to compress it to get these bolts out so it slid out. A little bit of a sketchy situation, but not too bad. We're hoping we don't have to drop the lower control arm to get the newer, bigger struts in, but not looking too promising. Now we're gonna repeat that on the opposite end. Alright, so now we're just doing it on the opposite end. We're removing the nuts on the lower strut. Just 2 on the bottom right there. Alright, that's 2. Got that as low as we can. Gonna do our sketchy part. You wanna guide those bolts back up through the hole so we have maximum height. See if hopefully you guys can see that. I don't know. Ready? Watch your fingers, it's probably gonna shoot out. All right, there we go. Not suspicious at all. Now we're gonna get ready to install our new one. All right, so unlike our old struts where we have these fixed bolts in here, the ones on Fox were removable. So we're able just to slide this right in and up into our strut cup. So now we're gonna start the nuts on the top. Hold that. Get our washers put on. And then hand tighten our nuts. All right, now we're gonna go ahead and tighten these up and then get our new bolts run through here and to the bottom of our strut. All right, so we have our strut staged in here, nuts started on the top. Now we're working our bolts on the bottom. We did have to screw in from the top and turn these bolt nut like receiver, this piston here, this shaft here, whatever you want to call it, So we just screwed in from this side and turned it a little bit so it would line up easier coming in through the bottom end. So you may need to turn this female end a little bit so it lines up with the angle of the A-arm. Otherwise it was too tough getting it in. But now we're gonna get it all tightened up and get our nuts on top tightened up and then repeat on the other end. All right, so we got our strut in. We tightened our top 3 cap nuts. Did not mess with the middle one. And we got our tie rod bolt slid in. Got our sway bar link started again. Now we're gonna kind of use a jack for support to jack us up because there's a lot of resistance on this upper arm. So we're gonna jack it up through and get the nut started. Grab this. Grab that blue jack. Oh,
it's tight. It's almost not working anymore. All right.
That's why you don't trust jacks.
That or it's maxed out.
Shouldn't be.
All right. Just got the one. Oh God. Jacking that up.
Hold on. It's slipping.
Oh, God damn. Lower it. Get it more centered.
Yeah.
Think that's good?
Yeah. Nice and slow.
Okay.
Alright, hold on.
Fuck. Set it off angle, huh?
Yeah.
Nope.
There we go.
What was the nut? Which one is it? Oh, fuck. Oh. That's not it.
What's that big one right beside the...
This one?
Yep.
It started.
There you go. Oh, jeez.
Nice.
Alright, that was a little finicky getting that, but now we're just gonna tighten everything back up and put the wheel back on. So after we got our nuts tightened on the top, we went back and made sure these were tight. These new bolts down here, kind of worked this knuckle back over, got this lined up and the tie rod pushed back through the knuckle, started this, and then attached our sway link bolt and started the nut, and then started our bracket back up, and then kind of jack this up for a little support to be able to get the upper control arm bolt through the steering knuckle. So now we're just get everything tightened and then repeat on the opposite end. All right, so we got our wheels back on, we got it off the jacks, we got everything tightened back up, and see it seems to be sitting a little higher. Now we're in need of alignment. Yeah. So now we're gonna go ahead and get started on the rear shocks, get them changed out, and be done. All right, so there's a bolt and the nut that we removed from there. As you can see, we're done over there too. And now I just untighten that bolt. Here's the nut, fell out the back. I'm just gonna pull this out. And here's our old rear shock. Here's our new one. Do we just have like more? Is it available? We got that started. We're gonna get a bolt. Now here's the tricky part. We're gonna release this band and get this bolt slid in there at the same time. Alright, Paris.
Yeah.
Want to cut the band?
You ready?
Yep.
Alright.
Okay. Got it.
Drive it through with the ink bag.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Bolt on the other side. Get these tightened up to spec. Repeat on the other side. Looks good. And I went back and untightened these. Undid these because the instructions called to add some Loctite on the thread. So we just backed off the nut, put some Loctite on, and tighten them up. So if you are doing this yourself, run your bolt through, put a little dab of Loctite on the bolt, and then start in the nut. All right, so we got the rears done, got them tightened up, torque to spec, and here she sits. Looks like it still has a little rake forward. But you can tell she definitely has had some increase in height.
Hell yeah.
Now, time for alignment. Get her lined up, and we'll be good. Pretty pleased with the turnout. Wasn't too bad of an install. Next thing is some new tires. I think we're gonna go with some 295s, 60s, maybe even just some 285s. But I'm gonna get something a little bigger than this. So yeah, that's gonna do it. Please like and subscribe. Thanks.